Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Munga, and it's ended 1-1. RB Leipzig versus Manchester City at the Red Bull Arena has ended in a draw, which almost should be shocking after looking at the first half, the way it went, right? It was a one-way traffic, literally a one-way traffic. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola will be proud because they know for a fact that it's going to be this home crowd in the second leg, and our City, they just kind of will dominate the way they did in the first half, but they're just going to capitalize. And that's kind of the thing, right? City failed to capitalize on the onslaught that they had. They're literally a one-way traffic in the first half. Yeah, and because Leipzig were playing so negative, they didn't move forward. The best chance, or the only chance at goal, was almost at the end of the first half for Leipzig. They were so negative. They're playing so backward, and kind of the press and the pressure that was on them, it was just like always on. It was just so weird to see it as well, Leipzig play like that. And Cuckoo was on the bench. Andre Silva did start the game. Andre Silva had a lot of Timo Werner and Andre Silva did start. But then the second half, the game just turned. Like first half was like City scored and it was 1-0. One-way traffic, but then on the second half, they tried to have more control of the ball. They were playing more positive football. They were playing more kind of purposeful, purpose-driven football in a way to kind of get something out of the game, and they did get something out of the game. Guardiol's header, which I felt that he bounced on Ruben Diaz, and Ruben Diaz almost felt aggrieved the way the goal was scored from a shooting from almost an empty net, because the leap was amazing, but there was no chance for anybody to say that. Even Ederson could not even come close to the ball. But even after the equaliser, there were several chances from all Werner, Silva, and Ederson was all there. Like there was a chance to get to score the goal, but then that just Ederson was good. But on the other side as well for Leipzig, right? Blaswich, he saved twice. Gundogan had a really nice chance to kind of get to get a winner, but then it was amazing to watch the way the game turned out. It had everything. The first half was one-way traffic for City. Second half, Leipzig tried to make more control. The game was almost sluggish, but then electrifying by the end. The chances, the open game, chances both hands, trying to finish the game, but then none of them could. But Gvardiol would be like, this is his, he should be proud. 21-year-old center back. He should be proud. He's a Croatian who scored in the first attempt that they actually had, and completed most touches and passes than any of his teammates in the game. He was, I think, it's a game for him and for Leipzig to look at him and be like, he's a 21-year-old that will have a lot of value as well and a lot of clubs will be watching him. Want to watch Gvardiol, but then also what is interesting is the second leg in Manchester, which will soon be more tempting as well to understand how this kind of plays out. But then I do want to touch upon Pep Guardiola's selection for the game. I feel that was one of those things that you were feeling a little like there could have been more chances and more goals, but then and also no substitutes. There were no substitutions done by Pep Guardiola in the game. None. He didn't use anybody off the bench. Everybody was playing the whole 90. Kyle Walker, Grealish, Gundogan, Mahrez, Haaland. Mahrez also the goal scorer for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Ruben Dias, Akanji, and Ake. He had a lot of people on the bench. Like he did not use anybody. But then the interesting thing was Kevin De Bruyne didn't even come down to Germany to even have a look at this game. So that's interesting, and that tells us something about yeah, that tells us something about the way Pep Guardiola is thinking about it. City, I think, but then I think Pep Guardiola's, he should be proud about the fact that they came up. They should be happy. It's well settled. They have a goal away. Aggregate is still in the favor of them because it still ends there. It's still, if it ends 0-0 at Manchester in 2 weeks' time, in 3 week time, it's still going to be City that go through. But then it will be very interesting to see analyzing the game, right? The first half was so aggressive, but the second half almost they dropped their shoulders then and kind of wanted the game to kind of continue slowly. That's going to be interesting to watch, and see how can they kind of what can they learn from this and how can they move forward with this. So I'm sure Pep Guardiola, the analysis will kind of keep on coming. And 3 weeks time, second leg, interesting in Manchester to be seeing who kind of goes through. There were a couple of moments I felt the VAR was not checked. Almost at the last kick of the ball, the header from I think Ake or Diaz, it directly touches the hand of the Leipzig player, but it's not. I don't know if it even checked by VAR or not. Like at the end of the game, they're showing back the replays a little on BD Sport, and then I was looking at them and I felt like it's a penalty. It's a handball. Interesting to see. Let me know what do you think in the comment section below about the performance of Manchester City against Leipzig. The first half, the second half differences. What do you really accredit that to? Not having Kevin De Bruyne or not having enough strength or like not using the strength from the bench? And Leipzig, like they looked so flat in the first half, but in the second half they came out roaring. Can they bring up an upset for Manchester and Pep Guardiola's dream of getting a Champions League win for Manchester City and a trophy from this round of 16? Do like this video, do share and do subscribe, and catch you in the next one.